Hello, it's Linda coming to you from Valley Stamp and Scrap in Neenah, Wisconsin. And today, instead of a technique, I am actually going to show a tool that a lot of us have had forever and probably don't use as often as we should. And we're going to make a card for Christmas. Let's get started. So the tool that we're going to be using today is the envelope punch board, and we're going to make a card, and then we're going to make our own envelope to go with that card. And the envelope punch board has been around for a very long time, but I know mine sits on a shelf and I absolutely forget about it. And this time of year seems like the time of year where having a matching envelope might be kind of cool. The other thing I'm going to be using today to make the card is one of our sets of 3D toppers. This one happens to be snowmen, and a beautiful set of pack of 8x8 papers from Creative Expressions. And these are called Sentimentally Yours, and the colors are just exquisite in this, and the pattern has clock faces on it. So that is the paper that we're going to be using. I'm going to set aside the envelope punch board for right now. And I have a piece of Catherine Pooler cardstock that I've cut down to 8x4 because we're going to be making a 4x4 card today. It could be used as a gift card or just a regular Christmas card. And I've taken a piece of that Sentimentally Yours paper in an olive green color, trimmed it down just a little bit. This is actually 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I didn't want a really big border around the outside of it. And I'm using my Easy Runner Grand for my adhesive. And I want the opening to be a side fold, and then I'm going to try to make sure that the clocks are not upside down clock faces. And I'm going to put that down. And then just a piece of red cardstock that's 3x3 from the paper cut. And same using my Easy Runner. Sometimes I try to turn my arm in an awkward way to do this, and it's just silly when I'm putting down that adhesive. And I'm going to put that down right in the center. And then I'm going to put together one of these awesome 3D toppers. The front is a little misleading because of the sizes that they show, but you are getting 10 of these in every single pack. So let's open this one up and dump out the pieces for the snowman. And you have 3 different pieces that come with each one. Large, medium, and small is how I like to put it, and they layer right on top of each other. So I'm going to take the medium one, and I'm using my scrapbook adhesive foam squares on the back because I want to pop up each layer, and we'll peel the backs off. And these 3D toppers layer so nice and easy. In this case, I'm just going to line up his hat and put it down, and then we have the pretty pine bough with the bow, and I will put a couple of the foam squares on the back of that and peel the backings off, and I'm going to line up the bow and the pine cones on this one, and look how fast we have that done. I'm going to put my Easy Runner right on the back. Since my goal is to be able to mail this, I'm not going to pop the entire piece up off the page. I'm going to lay it down flat. And there we have a relatively easy 4x4 card, but we need an envelope for it. So when we pull out the envelope punch board, although they do have a size that will make an envelope to fit a 4x4 card, I was actually going at this from the size paper that I have, and the Sentimentally Yours is an 8x8 pack of paper, and I wanted to use an 8x8 piece of paper. And so I'm still going with the instructions for the A2 4¼ by 5½ inch envelope because that's going to fit that 4x4 card just perfect, and it's going to be able to be mailed out at regular postage because it's not an odd sized envelope. And how the envelope punch board works is you look on here and you see it's telling you the score line where it measures, and that's 3 3/4. So I'm taking another sheet of that Sentimentally Yours paper and I'm lining it up at 3 3/4, just like that. The first thing I'm going to do is punch it, and then I am going to take a score tool, which usually is right next to me at my workspace. I set it aside. There is one that comes with the board, but I seem to have put it someplace else right now. And what you're going to do is score. And I start at the bottom and go to the middle and then go up to the top and come down when I'm scoring. So I have a score line right there, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and I'm going to line up this point right there with the score line. So you don't measure anymore. You're just going to line that point up right at the score line you met. I'm going to punch, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Start at the bottom and then from the top down. And then we're going to do it again. So it's repeat, repeat, repeat. And if it's the first time that you've done this, that helps because you're doing those steps over and over again. And then one last time, we're going to spin it, do that punch, and start at the bottom and then come down from the top. I'm going to spin the board around, and there's actually a hole punch, or a corner rounder, sorry, on the back side of this. So I'm going to go to each one of the corners, and I'm going to round the points on each one of those flaps, just like that. We'll set that aside and get rid of our little scraps. And I like to fold on the score line a couple times just to make it a little bit easier to put this together. So both ways, what do we say? In the mountain fold and the valley fold, I'm folding both ways just so that we have, so it moves just a little bit easier as we're going through this process. And again, this paper is so cool. And this is the side that's going to be on the inside of the envelope. We take these outside flaps and fold them in, fold the bottom up. Then I'm going to take my Easy Runner Grand. You could use liquid adhesive. You could use a two-sided tape on this step. Whatever works best for you, whatever you have handy. And I'm going to fold it up. And there we have our envelope all set to go. It is not an exact A2 size because of the fact that my sheet of paper was an 8 by 8 instead of 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. But that's okay because I wanted this to fit this 4 by 4 card just like that. And it's all set to go. It just needs a stamp put on it to be mailed. And I put a couple other ones together today. Look how rich that inside is with that pattern. So there is that. You get one of each one of those 3D toppers in the pack of 10 different designs. Here's another one using kind of that tan color. He's so cute. He is, in the little bird on the snowman's hand. And then this one, I love his scarf. So a nice way to be able to put together a gift card, have a matching envelope for it. Everything that I use today can be found on our website, valleystampindscrap.com. All you have to do is search for Technique Video 12-16-21, which is today's date. So again, valleystampindscrap.com, and all you have to do is do that search, 12-16-21. Plus, if you're watching this on Facebook, there's a link in the post. And if you're watching it on YouTube, then the link is down below. I do that like Simon Hurley does. I picked that up from him. He points down. So that link will be below the post. So again, just bringing out that envelope punch board because sometimes it sits and collects dust. Using those awesome 3D toppers to make some easy embellishments for the card. And you are set to go. Thanks so much for joining. Everybody have a safe evening. Bye-bye now.